Good morning, Speedway 7th graders. This is Mr. Hernold welcoming you to day 8 of our new learning experience. Today, I'm presenting to you another MPS Learning from Home mini lesson. This mini lesson will serve as a refresher for most of you about creating a thesis statement for an essay. We're going to practice how to write it long and how to write it strong. However, before I begin this mini lesson, I'd like to recognize just how awesome some of you were yesterday. So a special Phoenix shout out goes to Jadane, Issa, William, Avian, and Robert. You guys are a constant presence in our Google Classroom and our Google Hangouts. Like a phoenix, you guys are on fire. I also want to remind you guys that every student should have received a Chromebook. If not, Chromebooks are still available for pickup. Okay guys, you know what time it is. It's time to give me 5. Alright, now that I have your attention, now it's time to show everyone just how awesome Speedway Phoenixes are. So let us roll up our sleeves, grit our teeth, and power up our brains, and let's get to work. Alright, okay guys, so the task is to create a thesis and an outline for an essay. The prompt is above. Let's read it together. Write an essay that describes and analyzes the conflict between Chris and his father. Analyze how the thoughts and actions of both characters contribute to their conflict over the course of the text. So remember, the task today isn't to write an essay, it is to write the thesis for that essay. If you have any questions about the prompt or the bolded red words, please feel free to join our Google Hangouts during your ELA or social studies block. The short story that corresponds to the prompt is Sometimes a Dream Needs a Push, written by Walter Dean Myers, and can be found on page 457 through page 463 of our HMH textbook or on HMH Online. Alright guys, so listen up. So I know that many of you guys already recognize that the short story Sometimes a Dream Needs a Push is similar to the novel The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. So I'm geeking out about that. And I'm geeking out about it because of 3 reasons. The first reason is that both narratives deal with similar literary tropes. The second reason is that both have a similar plot. And the last reason is that both narratives have many of the same themes. I find that interesting, right? So as you're thinking about your thesis, I want you to also think about the discussion that we had about the crossover and some of the similar issues that the father and the sons faced in that novel, okay? And think about that as we walk through the steps to write the thesis today. Alright guys, take a look at the anchor chart before we move on to the heavy stuff. Remember guys, that the best thing about a video lesson is that you're in control. Remember that you can pause, rewind, or fast forward to suit your learning needs. That being said, it is important also before we start that you've already read the text. You need to have read the text closely so you can start to form your own opinions and draw your own conclusions about the text. In order to write a thesis statement, you have to have strong opinions about the topic that the text explores. Alright guys, so what is a thesis statement? It is a short statement, usually one sentence, that summarizes the main point or claim of an essay and is developed, supported, and explained in your essay by means of your examples and evidence. So I like to think of a thesis statement as the map that my reader will use to guide them through my essay. But I also know that it is the main tool that I will use to guide me as I write that essay. So when I write an essay, I constantly check my thesis statement to make sure that I stay focused on the argument and that I keep on topic. A thesis statement is that important. It gets information from my brain onto the paper, and it allows my readers to understand how I have organized my essay. So it is important to realize that a topic is not a thesis statement. I want to explain that a little bit more for you. So your topic could be dogs, but your thesis statement will be a specific and arguable point about dogs. You could, for example, make your thesis statement: large dogs make better watchdogs than small dogs because they're stronger, have bigger teeth, and are more fearsome. There you have a specific statement. It's not a fact, it is an opinion. It's an argument that you are making and trying to defend. Remember that your thesis statement needs to be an argument or an opinion and not a fact. What you're going for is a statement that is unique to you. It is an opinion about the text that you want to prove, something you are making connections about, and that you want your reader to know. Writing a thesis statement is all about combining the topic with your opinion about the topic and the reasons that support your position. To summarize, there are 3 key ingredients that go into writing an excellent thesis. The first is a topic. Then you add an opinion, a strong opinion about the topic. Then you add reasons to support your opinions about that topic. And that is how you write an awesome thesis statement. Remember that a thesis statement is a map that your reader will use to guide them through your essay, and that it is also the writer's tool that you will use to organize your essay and keep you focused on the topic of your essay. So, let's suppose that a teacher assigned you the following prompt. People tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs. Write a thesis statement for an essay in which you will explain whether you agree or disagree with that statement. Okay, let's see, where would you begin? So, there are 5 steps to writing a strong thesis statement. Step 1. Begin by identifying the question or the question that is presented in the prompt and that you're being asked to answer with your essay. And then ask yourself that question or those questions. There are 2 questions presented in this prompt. 1. Do more people choose large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs? And 2. Can you explain your position and reasons for that position about whether more people choose large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs? So the simple question that you would ask yourself is, do you believe that people tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs, and why? This brings us to step 2. Answer the question and make sure that you choose a position or side. An important tip for those of you who struggle with writing a thesis statement, you can start your thesis statement like this. In this essay, I will be arguing that. This forces you to create an argument or express your opinion. So, your thesis statement may simply read, in this essay, I will be arguing that people tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs. Okay, so we have just answered the question and chosen a side. But is this a thesis statement? Sorry guys, but this is not a thesis statement. You have only restated the topic or the question. This is a common mistake that we all make. This takes us to step 3. Here you will refine your answer or initial thesis. So now you need to refine your answer. And at this point you probably need to look back at your margin notes. Remember that good readers question the text and its topic as they read. After you check your notes, you must revise your thesis statement by adding your stated position or opinion about the topic. Now your thesis statement may read, in this essay, I will argue that people do tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs. But is this a complete thesis statement? If you said no, then you are right. So far, we have only added our position, people do tend to choose, and a point of comparison, large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs. So what's missing from this thesis statement? So far we have the topic, position or opinion about the topic. People do tend to choose large dogs over small dogs as watchdogs. But we're missing something to make this a good thesis. What are we missing? You got it. We're missing the reasons to support our position or opinions about the topic. This brings us to step 4. Focus with examples. At this point, you need to know which examples from the text will help you make your case about your position or opinions about the topic. So refer to your notes and choose text details that you can, 1, use to support your position, and 2, that you'll be able to explain how they support your position. Once done, your new refined and focused thesis statement may read as follows. In this essay, I will argue that people do tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs because large dogs are stronger, have bigger teeth, and are more frightening. So the examples to support my position that I do believe that people tend to choose larger dogs as watchdogs over smaller dogs are 1, large dogs have bigger teeth than smaller dogs. 2, large dogs are stronger than smaller dogs. And 3, large dogs are more frightening than smaller dogs. Okay guys, so these are text details that you should be able to explain based on information from the text and your own personal experiences. That gives you the belief. That gives you your belief or your opinion or your position about the topic. So my final thesis again reads, in this essay, I will argue that people do tend to choose large dogs as watchdogs over small dogs because large dogs are stronger, have bigger teeth, and are more fearsome. That is it, guys. We have just written a thesis statement that will allow us to write a long and strong essay. That's it for now, Speedway Phoenixes. Thanks for joining me for Day 8's video lesson, Creating a Thesis Statement with Mr. Hernal. Please leave a comment on our YouTube page or on Google Classroom if you have any questions or concerns. Also, please join me for our next video lesson where we'll learn the art of writing a historical fiction narrative. Remember guys, be gritty in all that you do and that humans are always stronger together.